interesting because did you ever, honest question, did you ever go through a depression phase where like you were suicidal?
No, I've never felt suicidal ever in my life.
Dude.
I've been very sad, like very deep. I think it's depression, right? Like I've had depression before, but I never thought about killing myself because I was like, man, you too dope. What's the world gonna do without you?
Dude, it's so interesting to be so far on the other side now, but I was what I would call passively suicidal, where like literally every fucking day, I wanted to die, but like I didn't have the balls to like actually do it.
Oh, 'cause that hurts.
That hurts. I don't want to hurt. But if it happened to me, I genuinely believed that I would have been like happy. And I was so suicidal that I got so angry. And I remember being pissed off at somebody that volunteered for a suicide prevention thing. Because when I had to go through that, their method of keeping you on this earth is guilt tripping you. It's telling you that this person's going to miss you. How could you do that to this person? And that made me so angry. I don't know if anyone else has ever had to go through some kind of suicide prevention. They basically, their tactic is, well, let's just keep them here for now and then we'll get them help. But for somebody that has the weight of the world on their chest,
that's not what they need.
It's not what they need at all. And it would piss me off so much because I was like, you are not me. You are not going through this. You are not going through this pain. It is selfish for you to want to keep me here when I don't want to be here. And I wanted so fucking bad. I wanted so badly to kill myself. I really did. Like, I just wanted to die. But boy, has that changed. David, when I was purchasing a car, I was looking up safest vehicles 2019.
Oh, you like precious cargo now.
Yes, absolutely. A complete 180. I built this life for myself that like, and it started with Smosh. Like I feel like I got so lucky to get pulled into that. And I cannot imagine. I can't even go back to that place that I was.
Oh yeah, it must be a really dark place. That's why,
dude. I can't. I'm like, please. Every day I wake up, I was like, let me live.
You open your eyes, you're like, oh thank God.
Every day I'm like, oh, we all here. I was like, all right, time to go do some dope shit. Every day, I wake up every morning, I get out of bed, and I'm like, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
That's what I'm saying. I had like this episode where we were talking about and I brought a guest on who attempted to kill herself. And the reason why is because I can't relate to it, so I can't really talk about it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't know what that feels like.
You should have brought me on. I would have read you my diary entries, David. You know, I'd be on here. I give you all this shit.
Had like dark stickers on it and stuff. The closest thing I got to killing myself was bacon. That's about it.
I fucking hate you so much.
Other than that, like I'm pretty fucking good, dude. Like I think like the reason why I stayed alive was just to piss people off. It's like I'm not gonna kill myself. If I'm alive, who are you gonna hate? It's like I gotta stay alive just to annoy you. Like why the fuck do you get to live and be happy? Fuck that.
Well, what happened on that episode though?
So she was a cancer survivor, survived cancer twice.
Wow.
And then even after she survived cancer twice, she had a really good. Her name is Kat Sweets, great bakery self-business person, blows up. Still didn't feel like it was worth living because of all the shit that she's going through. She had a miscarriage. She lost her kid too as well.
Wow.
And then she decides to try to kill herself, and luckily it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And I think like it's hard because like when you're in these like dark moments, the tool that a lot of people don't have from what I'm gathering from hearing all these stories is that pain doesn't feel temporary to somebody who's suicidal.
That is exactly what it is. I don't really give a lot of people advice on this because my world took like a full 180 after I joined Smosh and moved out to LA.
Shout out to Smosh.
And that's not an opportunity that a lot of people get. So it's like my situation isn't that relatable. But what ended up happening was I got plucked out of this depression and just given a new chance.
Yeah.
And so then I started looking, okay, well, while I'm out here, like, how do I make this work? How do I do this? So the only thing that I tell people is when you are severely depressed, when you're feeling suicidal, you need to find a mentor. You need to, or not even a mentor, maybe like somebody to look up to. What the fuck is that called? A role model.
Yeah.
You need a role model that lives the life that you want to live, because you need to be able to visualize yourself somewhere other than where you are. And whether it be, it sounds whack, but creating a vision board to just find that role model, to try to envision that life that you want, you need that. Because you're right. It's like, it feels like there's no way out of this pain. And the only way out of this pain is to end everything.
And everything is temporary. And on top of that, when you look at these people who you want to be like, and you see sometimes that it doesn't feel like it's attainable, a lot of people don't share all the scars and the wars that they went through just to get to who they are as a person now. And so you're trying to fast forward these steps to see, like, I want what they have without going everything that they went through.
Yeah.
They just had like the mental fortitude to get through it, right? So if you see this where you're like, even for me, if you look at me as a hero, wow, all right, cool. I fear for you, but thank you, because I've heard people say that, right?
I fear for you.
They're like, well, they're like, oh, how do you do this? Like, how did you start doing stand-up to going into film and doing all this other stuff? It's like, well, you weren't there for me when I got booed off a stage. You weren't there for me when, like, little friends have laughed saying that I couldn't become a stand-up. You weren't there for me when I've had, like, teachers tell me that I wasn't going to be anything. Like, these are stuff that built me up as a human now. It was very hard to get through that shit. But at the same time, it's like, there's no way that I would have been who I am now without that shit.
Yeah.
Because I needed to hear those type of things. It's just like, for me at the time, and the tool that you don't have, once again, is the fact that you think that when you go through that this is going to be the rest of your life. And I never thought that. It was like, this is temporary. I have to get over this shit.
Right.
I've talked about my anxiety, like how I used to, this is probably the third time I mentioned it, but I want to bring it up again because I couldn't order food at a fast food restaurant because I couldn't talk to people because I had such anxiety issues. I was like, oh God, I gotta ask something to somebody.
You couldn't order food at the restaurant?
I couldn't order food at a restaurant, a fast food restaurant. I couldn't make eye contact with people. I couldn't do any of this shit.
Damn, David.
I went from that
Who hit you?
That's what I'm saying. I went from that to doing stand-up. So come on.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody like me can do it, I think that you can too. You just have to accept the fucking beating that you're gonna get to victory. That ass whooping that you're going to get, you just have to accept it because it's going to happen. There are people out there right now that are fucking trash, and even they're successful in their shit.
In something.
They're resilient.
Or that ass beating you have, that ass beating that everyone's had, that pain, it's not just an unfortunate instance. It's not just life shitting on you. It's a lesson. Yeah. Every single thing is a lesson. And with each instance of pain, I don't think people even realize how much stronger they're getting, every day. Like, I would relive a lot of the shit that's happened to me just to become stronger, again. I wouldn't, if I could go back into my life, I wouldn't change anything. There is no situation that was so bad that I was like, oh, I could do without that. Fuck no, dude. I learned something from that, and no matter how bad it was, it made the other bumps in the road less scary. Because and I used this as an example before, losing my job out of nowhere. Yeah. Career-wise, I can conquer anything. I'm not afraid of anything, in that field. I'm really not, unless, somebody wants to, fucking sue me. Please don't sue me. But, I mean, for the most part, that pain was a huge lesson, and it was, a huge elevator, because now the little things, I'm not scared of them. And it also lessened my anxiety so much. Yeah. Because when you conquer it, you're not constantly thinking about it anymore because you know when it comes up, you got this. Whereas when I was at my job when I first moved out here to LA, every single day I was like, what's going to happen if I get fired? What if somebody hates me and I get fired? What if the audience hates me and I get fired? What if I fuck something up and I get fired? What if I get fired? What if I get fired? And then it was like, okay, now you lost the job. And then I conquered it. And then it's not a fear of mine anymore.
Yeah. I mean, that's... It's just like this. Oh God, I really, not that I say I wish I tried to commit suicide, but it's one of those things. It's like, damn, this is something that I really can't relate to. Yeah, it's hard, and I even relate this back to something small. So when Mr. Rogers passed away, right? I wasn't born here, so I had to learn how to speak English through every other facet that wasn't my parents. Right? It was usually television and school and whatever. So. One of the shows that I used to really, 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 really fucking love was Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood as a little kid. When Mr. Rogers died, I fucking cried. And I didn't know why, because I didn't really think much about him, right? I was like, oh, Mr. Rogers passed away. And I remember I was in my Isuzu Trooper, which was one of my first cars ever, and I was driving, and it was like from the Men's Warehouse, and I was driving back home. And I remember this day because it hit me so hard. When he died, I heard it on the radio, and I started bawling my fucking eyes out. And I remember I was sitting there, and I was thinking, like, why the fuck were you crying? Like, it's Mr. Rogers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you even remember a single episode that you saw from Mr. Rogers at all? And I started to realize later on when I was watching his show, and I watched this little clip of him